Have you ever walked into your local gun store, glanced over at the ammunition aisle, and done a double take? That was me not long ago. I looked at the shelves and honestly thought I was seeing things. 22 long rifle was sitting there at prices I hadn't seen in years. 5.56 was looking almost as affordable as it was back before everything went crazy. For a second, it felt like someone had rolled the calendar back to 2019. And the truth is, ammunition prices have taken a serious drop. Right now, we're living through what many shooters would call a buyer's market. But here's the part that deserves your attention. Markets like this rarely stay around for long. With election season gaining momentum, new tariff discussions popping up, and global supply chains still capable of throwing surprises at us, this opportunity could disappear much faster than people expect. That's why today we're looking at 10 calibers that are surprisingly affordable in 2026. More importantly, we're talking about why now may be the smartest time to stock up before the next price surge arrives. And while you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future updates on firearms, ammunition, and everything happening in the shooting world. Let's jump in. If you own handguns, chances are there's a 9mm somewhere in your collection. Maybe it's a Glock, maybe it's a SIG, maybe it's a Hellcat, a Canic, or one of the countless other pistols chambered for America's favorite handgun cartridge. There's a reason 9mm became the dominant sidearm round in the country. And right now, there's even more good news. It's affordable again. Quality full metal jacket ammunition is commonly selling for around 20 to 23 cents per round. Brass-cased offerings from companies like Magtech, Blazer, and Cellier & Bellow can often be found for less than $230 per 1,000 rounds delivered to your door. Anyone who remembers the panic buying years knows how significant that is. There was a time when the exact same ammunition routinely sold for 70 to 90 cents per round. Every trip to the range felt painful. Today, manufacturers such as Federal, Winchester, PMC, and others have product flowing steadily again. Shelves are stocked, online inventories are healthy, and buyers finally have options. This is exactly the type of market smart shooters wait for. Not because 9mm will remain inexpensive forever, but because opportunities like this tend to disappear quickly. If you're training regularly, competing, carrying daily, or simply enjoy spending weekends on the range, now is the time to build your reserve. Every AR owner knows a simple truth. No matter how much ammunition you have, it never feels like enough. Fortunately, 223 Remington and 5.56 NATO are sitting at some of the most attractive prices we've seen in years. 55 grain FMJ ammunition is commonly selling between 32 and 38 cents per round, while certain remanufactured bulk packages are occasionally dipping below the 30-cent mark. Manufacturers like PMC, Federal, and Fiocchi have returned to shelves in serious volume, making it much easier to find quality brass-cased ammunition suitable for both training and storage. If you're shopping for reloadable brass ammunition, expect to spend somewhere around $320 to $350 for 1,000 rounds. Compared to late 2021 pricing, that's an enormous improvement, and in many cases, nearly half the cost. If you've been delaying rifle training, postponing Optic Zero confirmation, or waiting to build a serious ammunition supply, this is the kind of market condition you've been hoping for. Whether you're running drills, attending a defensive rifle class, or simply spending more time behind your AR, current pricing makes it much easier to train without draining your wallet. There's something special about .22 long rifle. It's inexpensive, versatile, fun to shoot, and arguably one of the most useful cartridges ever developed. Right now, bulk packs containing 500 rounds are commonly selling for around $30 to $38. That translates to roughly 6 to 8 cents every time you pull the trigger. Trusted brands like CCI, Aguila, and Blazer have returned to store shelves in large numbers, giving shooters plenty of reliable choices. Anyone who lived through the pandemic years remembers how quickly .22 long rifle disappeared. Shelves sat empty for months. Online inventory alerts sold out almost instantly. Demand was relentless. Today, the situation looks completely different. Store shelves are full, online inventories remain healthy, and shooters finally have room to breathe. This remains one of the best cartridges for introducing new shooters to firearms, enjoying recreational plinking where legal, and hunting small game. You can burn through hundreds of rounds in a single afternoon without feeling like you've destroyed your monthly shooting budget. When prices are this low, it's difficult to find a good reason not to pick up extra while it's available. Let's be honest, once law enforcement agencies began transitioning back to 9mm, 40 Smith Wesson lost a lot of its momentum. But that decline in popularity created an unexpected opportunity. Today, practice-grade FMJ ammunition is commonly available between 28 and 36 cents per round. Even defensive hollow points can often be found for less than 50 cents per round. And we're not talking about questionable reloads or bargain bin ammunition. These are quality brass-cased, boxer-primed loads from respected manufacturers like Federal and Fiocchi. Reliable, clean-burning ammunition at prices that are difficult to ignore. If you've got a Glock 22 tucked away in the safe, or maybe a SIG P229 that's been neglected for a few years, now is the perfect time to put those pistols back into rotation. While everyone else focuses on 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson remains one of the most overlooked values in the ammunition market. Anyone who owns an AK remembers the chaos that followed the Russian ammunition import ban. 7.62 by 39 became difficult to find almost overnight. Prices surged, inventory dried up, and shooters bought whatever they could locate. Fortunately, things have improved dramatically. Steel-cased ammunition from countries like Serbia, Romania, and Turkey is commonly appearing in the 32 to 38 cent range. Brass-cased offerings from manufacturers such as PSA and Bellum are frequently available for roughly $400 per 1,000 rounds. The endless back orders and out-of-stock notifications that frustrated AK owners for years have largely disappeared. If you've got an AK, SKS, or Mini 30 collecting dust, this is a great time to get it back onto the firing line. For the first time in a long while, shooters can enjoy this classic cartridge without stressing over every trigger pull. For years, .308 Winchester shooters felt like they were being punished every time they wanted to train. Even basic FMJ ammunition was approaching $1 per round in some markets, making routine practice expensive. Thankfully, conditions have improved. Brass-cased 147-grain FMJ ammunition from companies like Magtech, PMC, and Cellier below can often be found between 50 and 60 cents per round. Compared to pricing from just a couple of years ago, that's a significant reduction. For owners of FALs, AR-10s, M1As, and other .308 platforms, this means training is becoming practical again. Premium match ammunition and dedicated hunting loads still command premium prices, which isn't surprising. But when it comes to drills, familiarization, and general range work, .308 has become much more accessible. If you enjoy breaking clays, hunting birds, or spending time with a shotgun on the range, this one is worth paying attention to. 12-gauge target loads have returned to store shelves in impressive quantities. Prices commonly range between 32 and 38 cents per shell, with major retailers often offering 100-round value packs from Federal, Winchester, and Remington for around $34. More importantly, supply appears stable. Sporting clay facilities are stocked. Major online retailers continue showing healthy inventory levels, and finding target loads is no longer a scavenger hunt. Buckshot and slug loads remain more expensive, and that hasn't changed much. But for recreational shooting and training purposes, current target load pricing is among the best values in the shotgun world. Few calibers were hit harder by import restrictions than 5.45 by 39. After Russian supplies dried up, prices skyrocketed. In some cases, shooters were paying 70 cents per round or more, assuming they could locate ammunition at all. Things finally look better in 2026. Steel-cased ammunition is commonly selling between 38 and 45 cents per round, while brass-cased options are often landing around 50 cents per round. Manufacturers and importers from Turkey, Serbia, and Ukraine have helped fill much of the void left by Russia, dramatically improving availability. If your AK-74 has spent the last few years sitting in the safe, now is a great time to get it back into service. No, prices haven't returned to the glory days of 2018, but compared to recent years, this is some of the best pricing AK-74 owners have seen in a long time. At this point, the obvious question becomes simple. Why are prices dropping? The answer comes down to three major factors. First, manufacturers finally caught up after years of extraordinary demand and production shortages. Factories increased output and supply eventually began meeting demand. Second, panic buying slowed significantly. As fewer people rushed to buy ammunition at any cost, warehouses started accumulating inventory. Third, import activity improved, particularly from regions such as Eastern Europe and Turkey. Additional supply entering the market helped stabilize pricing across multiple calibers. Combine all of that with a slowdown in new firearm ownership growth during 2026, and you end up with something we haven't seen in a while: surplus inventory. But remember one important word: temporary. Markets change quickly. Tariffs, political uncertainty, international instability, and supply chain disruptions all have a history of pushing ammunition prices upward. And historically, those increases rarely reverse overnight. If you're serious about preparedness, training, competition, or simply enjoying time at the range, this is the type of buying environment you've been waiting for. That doesn't mean you should panic buy, but it also doesn't mean you should ignore the opportunity. Focus on the calibers you actually shoot, whether that's 9mm, 5.56, 22 long rifle, or something else entirely. Concentrate on building a practical reserve that fits your needs. One thing I've noticed after years around shooters is that ammunition only feels expensive when you suddenly realize you don't have enough of it. Right now, many of the most popular calibers are sitting at some of the lowest prices we've seen in years. Take advantage of it while you can. Add to your stash, spend more time training, and enjoy this rare period of calm before the next round of market chaos eventually arrives. If you found this information helpful, hit the like button, share the video with a fellow shooter, and subscribe for more firearms and ammunition content. Stay sharp, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.